We're in the elevators of the Fine Arts Building, one of the last buildings in Chicago, if not the last one, I think, that has actual human operators. And this is the site of the next project I'm doing in Chicago. And I remember being on this floor, like down the hall, and like someone who was like practicing piano. And nobody was around here, and you showed up. And you opened the door, and you're like, I'm like, we're looking for the same thing, the echo, in this building. My work is based around the concept of mobile sites, as in sites that are specifically traveling at all times, and trying to essentially thread historical continuities or discontinuities. One of the pieces I've done in the past was where I created a 5-channel composition, sampling traditional instruments from Korea and synthesizing the sounds and creating this 5-channel composition, and renting 5 advertisement trucks and played each channel in one truck. And we actually drove the trucks around the town I lived in at the time, and also broadcast that to a space in New York. For me, there's this interesting notion of, say, like classical music, where it's so distant from the point of its actual transcription, but we still hear it, and so therefore there's this historical travel that happens. And so I'm really interested in things that actually have this historical precedence and not just an interesting sound. My MFA piece was a short film called The Iron Rod, which is a classical composition that was written with the help of multiple instrumentalists in Chicago and performed in the back of a moving taxi that was traveling throughout Chicago.
Vision came from God. We're in the holy.
The piece itself was through extensive research in a couple of musical systems, one being the traditional folk trade of the Mormon Church. The other is Radif, improvisatory Persian music. Both musical systems were actually transcribed around the same time and come from the origin of individuals who are nomads in a sense. Concepts I'm really interested in terms of what mobile site really represent are these layers of socioeconomic status, gender, ethnicity, background, and personalized stories that actually are encapsulated in these mobile sites. With the Fine Arts Building, we're in the beginning stages of trying to create a short film and really exploring the concept of a mobile site vertically versus horizontally. In a space like this where there's so much echo of different pieces of music from different times, it has this notion of kairos, or like vertical view of looking at history. My interest in musical systems is not necessarily trying to transpose the original sound or concept, but using the concept of a mobile site, allowing myself and the project participants to essentially go on a divergent task, and then in result of going on that divergence, you don't necessarily come back to the same system. The way I also describe this is open loops. In its process of being repeated and dispersed, you're actually going from one place to another. There's a transformation that happens in that repetition and dispersion.